Ooh.
Hey Jet Nation, this is Greenbean, and today we're going to talk about why is it so damn hard to get the Jets back to respectability. We'll get into it when I return. So that's right, Jet Nation, this is Greenbean at the end of a very long day volunteering here at Kristierra Farms in Reddick, Florida, kind of between Gainesville and Ocala in horse country. You can see the horse paddocks behind me, and we like to volunteer, particularly here. We were here last year as well, and it's just one of those things that we like to do as we travel around the country, bringing you the on the road with Greenbean show as we do. But here we are, Jets fans, about to go into really our second full off season with Joe Douglas. And our first off season where Joe Douglas has his head coach and coaching staff in place and his hand-selected quarterback in place. We've never seen how he's going to handle free agency and the draft when he has those two things in place. Like last year, we have top 10 picks, right? We have the Seattle pick. Last year we had the second overall pick, and Seattle's was at 23. So we still had two first, but this year we have two top 10 picks, with Seattle being number 10 overall and our own being number 4 overall. So here we are. This time, we don't need to use one of those picks on a quarterback. So we have a top 5 pick and no need to use one of them on the most coveted of positions, the quarterback. Zach Wilson has done more than enough to prove that he can be developed at minimum. So Joe Douglas has his coaching staff. Remember, the first draft that he had, he didn't have full say. He was on equal footing with the head coach at the time, Adam Gase. They were not, it wasn't a normal hierarchy with Joe Douglas being over Adam Gase. They were on the same footing, and they both reported up to Christopher Johnson, who was the CEO at the time. So now we have Woody Johnson, we have Joe Douglas, we have a very well-established personnel department, and we have a full coaching staff. Now has their rookie year behind them, so the whole organization is in place. We even have the new medical staff. They got their first year under their belts together as a unit. The new nutritionist, new rehab department, new trainer, new doctors, and all that under Dr. Dewey. So we're going into free agency, and we're going into the draft for the first time with those things in place under Joe Douglas. So how should we feel? Are we excited? Do you hate Joe Douglas? Look at our records since he's been here. We got fucking, 7 wins the first year, 2 wins the next, 4 wins. What is this? The guy sucks. He's had 3 years and we've been in the basement. Now that's, when you look at it through that lens, sure, you can be concerned that this guy is not very good, and you can be worried about this offseason. And that would dovetail nicely with all the other off seasons. What is it about the Jets? We can't seem to get it right. And I get it. When you look at it through that lens, it seems like it's all par for the course. It's exactly the same. But we're going to look. Last year, our draft picks were the first under this organization, right? So we needed the quarterback, and we had to do all that. We had to use one up top for Zach Wilson. But it was the first with Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, who seemed to be lockstep for really the first time that we've seen our head coach and general manager lockstep for a long time. We know that Adam Gase and Mike Maccagnan were not on the same page. We also know that Mike Maccagnan and Todd Bowles were not on the same page. We also know that Rex Ryan and Idzik were not on the same page. And even though Rex Ryan and Tannenbaum were on the same page, at the end there, Rex Ryan distanced himself from Tannenbaum with the Tebow stuff and all that, because he knew somebody's neck was going to be on the chopping block, and he made sure it wasn't his. So the last year, they weren't on the same page. Quite the opposite. So we've had a long time watching there be like a contentious environment at One Jets Drive. Guys trying to preserve their own position as opposed to being on the same page. And Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas had a draft last year being on the same page. And even though I'm not one to dump, labels on a draft class after one season, I don't think they're busts if they have a rough season. I don't think they're all-stars if they have a good rookie season. That all said, they look pretty good. It looks like a solid draft class. Guys like Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, AVT, those guys look legit. Now, we have the injury piece, then that applies to all the friggin' Jets. It seems like we can't escape the injury piece, and we hope that the medical staff will actually start to hit a stride, and their policies and all the things that they're doing will start to take root and set in, and players will be, a lot more benefited from their policies and all that as we move forward with them. But guys, this draft class looked pretty good. We found some gems in the later rounds. We did get Bryce Hall the year before, so the consistency with our late round defensive backs seemed to continue in the 2021 draft, and we have that behind us. We have that underneath us. Michael Carter the first, Michael Carter the second. We got Brandon Eccles, obviously Bryce Hall the year before. But we got guys like Elijah Moore, like AVT, like Zach Wilson. They look legit, and they look like they can be a part of a nice foundation. So now that the quarterback is in place, we had the improvement from the offensive line. We have this opportunity right now to watch these guys manage free agency when they're in that quarterback rookie window. Again, we know what it's like. We've talked about this ad nauseum. When you're in that 5-year rookie contract window, how you kind of have to accelerate things. Use the money you have in free agency. Go for picks that are going to help that quarterback to succeed. So we're going to see that. Now, why should we feel like it's going to be different? Now, guys, it's been a long time around here because of the people that we've chosen to be in leadership positions. The Johnsons have admitted numerous times they don't know what they're doing. Now, Chris Johnson tried his hand at it when Woody went to England to be the ambassador. Chris Johnson did step up and he said, "Nah, this ain't so hard. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to go get a new head coach. I'm going to get the new GM. I'm going to change the uniforms. This is going to be great. You'll see. I'll get us to the Super Bowl." As we know, by the time Woody came back, Chris Johnson was going, I don't know what the hell I don't know what happened over here. This is hard. I don't know what I'm doing. But Woody Johnson, for years, has gone out and hired outside help. He hired Corn Ferry to get him in. He said, "I don't know how to hire a GM. Please get somebody in here that can do it." When that failed, he went out and got 2 former borderline legendary GMs, Ron Wolf and Kesserly. Hired 2 football men. The outside consultant thing didn't work. He went and he hired football GMs. Find me a general manager, find me a coach. Sadly, Casserly betrayed him and just hired his buddy Mike McCagnon, who, in truth, was not really next in line for a GM job. The last thing that Mike McCagnon did, he was the director of college scouting. Joe Douglas was the director of college scouting for the Bears. Joe Douglas had 3 years of being a vice president under the GM after director of college scouting. So Mike McCagnon leapfrogged a few positions, assistant GM, those types of positions. He leapfrogged it. So Joe Douglas has a significantly more established, stable lineage to getting to the GM. Mike McCagnon, he wasn't really supposed to be there yet. He was hired because of his friend. The 2 GMs before him were quite literally accountants. So here we go, man. When you look at why it's been so hard for the Jets to get out of the dark, it's been so long. It's been like dragging sacks of rocks through the mud. Why? In simple terms, because the guys that we had weren't supposed to be in the job and did not know what they were doing. That's the truth of it. This is the first time in forever that, and look, it's not to say it's going to be guaranteed to succeed. It's not to say you have to love them or anything. Joe Douglas is the first GM that has come from a winning organization. Mike McCagnon, again, came from the Texans. They had some winning seasons, but no Super Bowls, none of that stuff. Joe Douglas came from winning organizations, the Ravens, the Eagles won their Super Bowl with Joe Douglas on their staff. So he's had 2 organizations that made it and won the Super Bowl that he was a part of. Ozzie Newsome, all that stuff. So we have a guy who's been there before, knows what he's doing, is supposed to be there before, in this position. And we got a coaching staff that he selected, a quarterback that he selected. They got their rookie years underneath them, behind them, and now we go into the offseason. So I think there's a little bit more reason to be excited about this offseason and where the Jets are going than in years past. Of course, we tried. We got excited. We got some guys. We wanted them to succeed, right? We did. But it didn't work. Why? Because the guys making the decisions didn't know what they were doing. Joe Douglas, whether or not you like him, whether or not you love every move, I certainly don't. He clearly knows what he's doing. Evidenced by his trades, evidenced by sending Phil Savage down to the Senior Bowl. Look at the players that we got on our national roster under the Jets coaching staff. Dude, that's Phil Savage. That's Joe Douglas. They're working it. Phil Savage, as we know, ran the Senior Bowl for many years. Okay? It's influence. It's relationship. The GM we have has that. So, what do you think, Jets fans? Are you excited? Are you just waiting for more of the same? Is it just like a monotonous cycle of the same crap over and over, or do you feel like the winds of change are actually upon us? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget, if you want more Jets talk than you can possibly handle, more than you can consume, JetNation.com is the place for you. And don't forget about Jet Nation Radio right here on Jet Nation's YouTube page. Like and subscribe if you want the best Jets content out there. Thanks for watching, and go Jets.